Colin, and for this vlog here, it's gonna be me going back in time, like most of my vlogs are, because it's more of like a nostalgic feeling on this channel and things I did in my past, and how I put it together kind of creatively. So this is some text messages I found in the past between me and a friend who's a woman, and that was this is a few years ago. And it caught my attention because I looked at the messages, and first of all, I was appalled by the way, like, I messaged. Not necessarily my syntax, but like how I messaged her. Like, it was kind of abrasive, and I was like, dang, like that was one of those conversations where I was like unbudging. But it was about something that was, kind of nutty. But nowadays, I have a completely different thought about it. Looking back on a different aspect of this when I look back. Now, what I see in like two different ways is me. First of all, I just want to say, like, I don't think that she understood what I'm gonna say next. I still don't think that, but like, maybe subconsciously she did, unconsciously she did, but I don't think that was the point she was trying to get at in this particular situation. And you kind of see what I'm saying as I go into it. So yeah, let me just jump into it. So she says, "The moon tonight. It is astonishing. I stared at it for 6 minutes or so, and it was playing with me, bouncing all over the sky, higher and higher." And she sent me a picture of the moon, and it's stagnant because it's a picture. But how the moon works, it doesn't do that. If that were to happen, it would upset, I'm sure, the system that we got going on with the moon a little bit if it's bouncing. And then it would create something on the earth. Like, there's whole things that could be measured by the phenomenon like that. So it's a preposterous thing to say. But when it comes to her perspective and her personal experience, now, whether it be she's sober or she's not, you can reach the states when you're not sober much easier, correct, on psychedelics per se. Now you come back into a reality, and she's sitting here meditating, and the moon seems to be bouncing. I experienced it after, like, when she did it, not soon after, but a while after. I was just thinking, and I kind of noticed that phenomenon. So it's like, I noticed it was personal, it was within me, it was an illusion. So the moon isn't really bouncing. Now, it's interesting that it was playing with her. You get what I'm saying? Because nature can show you. Nature can show you these things. It's the best teacher for true learning and reaching back into what we actually are. So I said, I'm gonna go check it out. The mind plays tricks on you, or you're on drugs, just trying to be funny. Because like at this point, I guess I'm the naive one, and I because I'm taking it so seriously, and I almost want to like apologize to this person. If you know who you are and you ever see this, like, I'm sorry for the way I reacted in this text message exchange. But I thought I saw a satellite the other night moving slightly, but I kept staring and it wasn't flickering, and it turned out to be Jupiter. So that was my experience. And it wasn't actually moving, ever so slightly probably, but I thought it kept bouncing up. My mind had me witnessing a small illusion. Oh, okay, so it happened like before as well, It's an illusion that I've observed and can almost get to if you think about it. The process. The moon may have slightly been moving higher though, ever so slightly over 6 minutes. So like in relativity. So like I was trying to like almost debunk her. And it might be something you could do, and it's not the worst thing ever. Like this right here, and then I say I miss you and stuff. In relativity, the moon, like in my perspective, is going higher, and I'm just like kind of debunking what she has going on, which might be even a good thing, to do to your friend if they're having a psychotic break, where they think the solar system is breaking down around them and nothing is happening except in their head. Like, you might want to be there for your friend if that happens, but like, I took it way too serious because of knowing that how sane of a person she was, for the most part. So she just replies like back in her happy self, do it. Let me know what you think. Just nicotine and sleep deprivation, lol. Which can get an artist to a certain point, but sleep is definitely a necessity in this universe. That's neat. That's what I seen. It did move. So like at one point so like she believes in her perspective and believes it did move. And when I look at those illusions, I believe it moved because to me it moved, but like I know it didn't move. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I just like am taking her semantics too seriously, and I would like to have been there face to face. I'm sure with her I always did. She goes on to say, at one point it always looks like a face and appeared to be coming slightly towards me. It was wild. So a little bit of an experience there for her. She says, I miss you too. And she says we should watch the sky sometime soon. So she's optimistic and let's have this experience together. So like now I'm not sure if she even knew what it was then, but she may have done more research into it now since it's been a few years and know this like phenomenon. And what I'm about to say might be a little bit of stretch for some people, but well, let's see what I say in this message first, because I'm not even sure. I don't even remember how I replied. Maybe a shot of DMT coming out through your pineal gland. I'm all up on that stuff right now. Okay, so let me ask you something. You think the moon literally moved in the sky, like it bounced? Because I wanted clarification on the topic, on the issue. She says, could have been. Yes, it was bouncing around for a solid 3 minutes. I turned away and looked back and it was still doing that. So she was checking her impulses and her actual visual field. I doubt it was really doing that, but it sure appeared to. So she knew exactly what I'm saying now that I denied in the messages, but she says I doubt it was really doing that, but it sure appeared to. And laugh my ass off, I will remind you. So she knew that it wasn't happening, but it was like this experienced phenomenon that she got while she was by herself, where she didn't need to prove anything to anyone in the universe. And after she's focusing on it, and the universe is revealing itself and its mind to this woman on her balcony. And then after 6 minutes or so, there's an inkling of the thought, I must tell somebody, and it kind of probably faded away. And she messages me. And upon messaging me, she's like, I gotta tell somebody about this experience. Like, I'm not crazy. I gotta let people know that I'm in tune. And like, I did this. I saw this. And I feel so bad for like shooting that down. Okay, so let me just go further. Okay, so just to reiterate, if I was standing next to you watching the moon too, I would have seen it bouncing in the sky. That's a further clarification. Perhaps, if you experience the same thing, but I realize it is a subjective experience. So that ends the conversation, and then afterwards, I'm like, oh, jeez, I'm scared now. Like, that's kind of interesting. You could tell yourself that actually happened, and it's brave, but it sounds like psycho, type response. and like it was like end of the conversation. I was like, I gotta go, and I'll come back, and had to be somewhere, and let her know. And I cut off like this experience that she had, but nowadays, and maybe soon after that happened, like it taught me so much. And like going back, I was surprised I had these messages. I forgot I did, so that's a part of why I wanted to make the video. But I go back and I look at it, and with the knowledge I have now, like if I was sitting by the campfire with her, maybe 1, 2 other people, maybe many other people, but like say with her at least. So that way it's not a single experience, it's a joint experience, right? So like when you're on shots of a DMT or ayahuasca, or if you're just on any type of psychedelic, psilocybin, if you're on these things and you're having these real experiences, then if I was on the balcony with her, not even by a fire above, just like on her balcony where she was, like we used to do and talk, which was great, then I think that I might have seen the same thing. And we would be astonished by what's going on. Nowadays, I believe in these joint psychedelic experiences, like say, shamans are listening to a song near the campfire. You have one that is explaining what they saw and the unique shapes of the sounds, right? So that'll be the same description as someone else put it. It's basically the real form of telekinesis, which would have been happening there in between me and her and the object in which we are visually experiencing, which is one that is very, very far away compared to what we're measuring on our human eye, but it's also like close enough to be measured and seen with the human naked eye. So there might have been like not saying the moon actually bounced. I'm not saying that in any way or even a little bit. But what I am saying is that the phenomena of it being so far through this thick atmosphere, there could not even have it been like explained physically, but in a way that we aren't even able to comprehend, and we have this joint experience with each other, then who's to say that what happened isn't real? Meanwhile, the moon did not bounce at all. And that's my belief on that. And that's just the video that I wanted to do, I guess, on this past text message exchange. I guess the thing to note in this video too, just a little lesson learned through these text messages of my life experience, if you want to learn from my life experience. I guess the first lesson real quick, just as a quick interjection, would be to not react too quickly in text message exchange. But the second one would be that just by like, I think me putting up this video of my life, because I always put my life out there nowadays for people to see, and people take it every which way. Sometimes it's a piece of art, and it's not me, it's a piece of art, and it needs to be interpreted as. But anyways, the lesson here, I guess, the main lesson would be, at least for me, and if not for you, that people change. And my opinion changed here enough for me to realize at least the conversation and what was being said. And I might have thought the same back then during that time, but just not had the knowledge also to realize almost the naivete of how I'm speaking. But anyways, the fact is, people change. And yeah, I mean, this is just like a crazy phenomena that I think, you're not going to be able to really ask for it. It's just something that comes. So it was something that came in experience in my life. And nature may touch you in its own way. But there's mine. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Until next video, I'll see you guys. I'm Colin. Peace. Take it easy.